Hey, so I got to readjust my lighting here a little bit. My light sucks, man. Hold on. As you can tell, I'm not a producer of YouTube videos. I'll learn though. Hey, how you guys doing? It's Sunday. It's 6:45. Getting ready for the Cowboys and the Eagles to play. Little note about that is I don't understand. We paid Prescott all this dang money or whatever, and he ain't played 2 full years yet. Anyway, side note. Anyway, this video is for information video for Angelina County, Texas, and introduce you to our county and what we have to put up with as far as being a citizen here in Angelina County. Delcifino is an investigator, and he has posted many stories about Angelina County. Also, he does it around Texas or whatever. And we appreciate the info. You have to understand in Angelina County, it's like a big bubble. Information doesn't get out. Information doesn't come in. They keep screws on what the local newspapers can say. They can't say which stories they can run, which where they can't run. As a matter of fact, if you just started asking the commissioner or the county judge questions or the county attorney questions, they're not going to answer you. They're just going to run to the car. This is the representatives that we have in our county commissioner's office, which is basically, to me, is basically a freaking joke. Here's the reason why. I don't mean to slander or libel these people. I'm just trying to call them out on what that they have actually done and the way they treated citizens, and not only get my input and saying you're wrong, but also get other people's input that you can't do that, you know. So we have currently right now, we have had wheels backtrack. Some of the people that'll watch this or whatever, I'm going over old news, but please bear with me. I want to update the public because I am going with YouTube on this one. So number one, in our county commissioner's office, this is what we've been experiencing within the last 2 years. We've already had one county commissioner put in jail for domestic violence, for kidnapping, all those things that pertain to it. And he got indicted and he pled guilty to those charges. However, the fact is that nowhere it mentioned was that there was also pending cases on this individual for misuse of government funds. Seems like this guy decided that, you know what, he needed to spy on his family. He went out and purchased surveillance equipment, said it was going to go for his cruise that he was running. Actually placed it on his wife's car, his daughter's car, anybody in the family he wanted to keep track of. He never paid for that. Anyway, he held on to the last minute, and they finally, the commissioner's office wouldn't suspend him or anything like that, and basically was found guilty. And to keep in mind, the whole time this guy was indicted, that he served on the county commissioner's office, and he voted on issues that affect the county. So ethically, it's not right. And he should have took his druthers and should have stepped down and said, you know what, until I get this cleared up, then I'll run for commissioner again. But he didn't do that. Currently, right now, we have 2 other commissioners that are on our commissioner's board that are under indictment for violation of the Freedom of Information Act. We had one individual who's another county commissioner who has a problem determining how much asphalt he orders and keeping records of where the money goes. That information came out with Mr. Delcifino in a video. If you guys don't tune in, I'll leave his link down in the bottom. And now we have a county judge that has been suspended because of the fact is the same charges, the Freedom of Information Act. He was suspended, and we have another county judge who's taken over, who basically is clueless. He said that, you know, that the county was going to pay for one of these commissioners' legal fees, his buddy, his legal fees, but the other 2 Then he didn't pick up the bill on the other commissioner that went to trial. And then these other two are getting ready to go to trial. He's not paying. County's not picking up their benefits. So why should we extend an olive branch to one of the other commissioners? Well, the other commissioner, I don't know. Don't ask me. I couldn't tell you. I'm asking the questions. And then he decides that it's that in this political environment that we have right now. And what does he mean by political environment? Well, let me tell you what he means by that. People now in Angelina County are starting to question their ass. They're starting to put in freedom of information requests. They're starting to actually ask questions. They're starting to pay attention to the meetings and how kind of bullshit that is. And then they also see the way people are treated when they appear before these meetings. And the general public are actually saying, you know what you're saying is not exactly what's happening, and we're calling you to the mat on that. However, the fact is this will never be revealed, because the fact is that, okay, here, a county commissioners meeting is held at 10 o'clock on the second Tuesdays of every month, 10 o'clock in the morning. No citizens can attend because you got to go to work, especially nowadays. You got to go to work. Can't miss the day off. Then they have the setup of, they use this a lot, 3-minute rule for, when you want to address the agenda topic, which may or may not be the case, but it is legal. You can do that. But the fact of the matter is that that's the only 3 minutes that we have for you to sit still somewhere where we can ask you the question where you don't run off. So then the county commissioners, they say you can only speak on an item on the agenda. You can't bring up other stuff. You can't bring up other concerns. You don't. In other words, this is here. Let's get through this. Y'all shut up. Say don't shut up. We're going to make up our mind what we're going to do, and then you guys are going to deal with the aftermath. Upcoming issues are issues that are problems that are going to be a big problem for the county. They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear from the public. A county judge even went out and even pretty much inferred or pretty much called us that we are uncivilized because they can't trust us because we're uncivilized when we go to court or we go to the county commissioner's court to raise an objection. We're uncivilized. I've been called a lot of things. I've been called deplorable. I've been called, So now Angelina County has their own nickname for us. It's called uncivilized. I don't know about you, but the fact is I was born and raised here in Southeast Texas. And you know what? Some people, when you leave out of state, they say we're uncivilized. But you know what? It'd be down to somebody else living the same damn life I am from the same damn place going to call me uncivilized. Sorry, excuse me. So we got a cluster in the county commissioner's office, and it's like we're trying to conduct business on overall this uproar or whatever. And we have commissioners on the court right now that are going up to trial or actually scheduled to go to trial, and they're still voting on issues. Texas state law says you can't actually suspend them. However, the fact is the ethics side of that part is yes, you have to. And here's the reason why, is because the fact is that if you're charged with a crime, it sets up you for the opportunity to be blackmailed. We'll make all this go away if you'll do this. You're in a position of power. So it's not just what you're doing. It's what is being presented to you. People on both sides of the aisle are going to come to you. Well, if you do this, we'll get you out of this. If you do this, we'll get you out of this. That right there is an ethical issue. Conflict of interest, if you ask me. However, the fact is, what the hell do I know? I'm just unethical individual from Angelina County just saying what I think. That's the commissioner's office. If you don't believe me, hey, do your research and find out. First thing that you'll find out is if you put a freedom of information request, it's going to be denied. It's going to go through Kerry Kirby. And Kerry Kirby, he don't know how to do nothing but kiss the county commissioner's butt. And while doing so, he still maintains a salary of like $174,000 just to do nothing. I have never seen him at trial. I've never seen him. I don't know what he does if he paid for a county attorney. But anyway, that's beside the point. So we have a dysfunction in our commissioner's office, which is not unheard of in Southeast Texas, but the fact is that ours just keeps getting bigger and better whenever things keep coming up. We also have a problem with our with our criminal justice system. Now, in Angelina County Jail, if you look up the roster, you're going to see people who have been up there to 2 to 3 years, some even 4 to 5 years, inside the county jail waiting for trial. If you ask the district attorney's office, or you'll ask anybody, they say, well, COVID got us back. COVID's done. Okay. You had a contingency plan to trial these cases. You were warned by the judges who said we're going to have a problem because we can't process these cases fast enough. Now it's coming to fruition. It's like, oh, we're just going to take away our citizens' rights, because the fact is that there's no speedy trial in Angelina County, Texas. There is no habeas corpus. There is no representation of these individuals that are in there for 3, 4, 5 years. They haven't ended. If you're an indigent, who does that encompass? Both, basically, the working class American who's middle class or maybe even below. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just targeting are minorities. Minorities can't really afford to pay these excessive bills. Neither can working class Americans, because the fact is, but they have to pay the bill because they got to go to work while they're waiting on charges, which may take me 3 years to go to court on. Instead, I'm sitting in the county jail waiting for a court date. The way it works is that if you get arrested for something, you have an opportunity to bail out. The bail system is actually it's a big turmoil right now. I understand that. Anyway, the judge sets bail. The judge sets bail at that time. After 90 days, and you've been in there, basically it's like the county, it's basically like the district attorney's office and the court saying, we can't have you in a speedy trial, so we're going to relook at your bail to see if you can actually get out and contribute to society while we're waiting for these court dates. Next phase is that, you get to go in for discovery, which is supposed to happen within a year maximum of your crime. So in other words, the district attorney or the defense or whoever the attorney is has to provide the other side of what the evidence is. You being the arrested individual who's actually waiting bail or waiting trial, you get to see what the evidence is they have against you. You get to make your decision at that time. Well, you know what? I was guilty. You caught me. It's on tape. You got me. Whatever. But also the fact is, there may not be enough evidence to prove you did it. And I'm taking the side of someone who's actually guilty, but I shouldn't do that, because you're innocent until proven guilty. And you're innocent and proven guilty because the fact is the court system is supposed to react in a speedy manner to get you to trial. So then you have your evidence. You go close your evidence or whatever. So then you and your attorney start preparing your case. Well, they got me on film because this blah, 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 blah. But y'all get to sit down, prepare your case. Or you can take a plea right then at that time or whatever. It's not happening. Discovery motions are not happening for 3 years. So let's just see what we have here. In 2 years, and I'll just speak to you guys, 2 years, there's a lot of people I know of, you know what, they just moved. You don't know, they may have just moved down the street, but they moved. Not in contact anymore. Some of these people that actually are being called for discovery as a witness have to be contacted. Well, guess what? If you work offshore, you're gone. Part of the time, you never got it. Or if you were working out of state, a lot of people I know are going to Florida right now and actually getting some work doing housing or any kind of work for cleanup. So you're out of state for a while. So anyway, you were a witness in this trial. You may be a key witness in this trial, but the fact of it is that they can't get in contact with you, so you're not able to to testify, whichever way you want to go with it. So see a pattern here. So here's the pattern that we've actually, the precedented pattern that we have currently right now in Angelina County justice system. Number one, you lock some gun up, you set a high bail, you throw him in jail. Why do we do that? Well, because the fact is that we want to make sure he doesn't make bail, because then the justice system, the DA, can actually start grinding on him, pushing his pace back, or her case. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sexist. Don't get me wrong there. Push the case back for a year. Now, I don't know about you, but, and I've done time in the county jail. I was guilty. I pleaded guilty, whatever. But anyway, to plead guilty, it took me almost 3-4 months. Now, we have individuals that are sitting in jail that have no access to an attorney. You're indigent. In other words, that means the state has to provide an attorney for you. You get assigned by the judge. He starts working your case. You're supposed to be able to talk back and forth between you and current client attorney privilege, to where you guys can discuss the case or whatever. However, the fact is that these individuals in our county court system, on the defense side, they don't care. Because as long as you're in jail, they're getting paid by the state. They don't care. And then people will argue, well, it's not that much or whatever. Well, you take 10 or 15 of these cases and throw them in jail, it's a pretty good paycheck right there. Or that's just income that is coming in that you can count on every month. So they put them in jail. Let them sit there to rot. Can't get a hold of your defense attorney. They'll if you try to call a status on your case, if you are in jail and you're waiting trial, then guess what? You only get a certain amount of time on your card to call the individual. So now you got to call the individual. He's not there because his receptionist has been told not to accept any calls from you. So you may spend a whole week and a half just trying to get hold of your attorney just to see what the status of your last filing was. There is no face-to-face. There is no cooperation between attorneys and the client, because all the conversations they have is when you go to court. You never go to court. You never have a conversation with your attorney, setting you the hell up. Now, the district attorney is sitting there nice and pretty, because the fact is, here's what happens there. She's forcing you to plea deal, or he is forcing you to plea deal. Sooner or later, you're going to get tired of being in freaking county jail. And you're like, you know what? Shit, I ain't never going to go to trial. So you work out for a plea deal. Now, the reason why that's important is because the plea deal goes down as a win for the prosecution. So when we go to elect our next district attorney, they go to quote these records, say, well, look how many convictions we got. How many of those convictions were actually just played out? So we have a backup in our court system. We have done nothing to address it. There are different ways that counties have overcome that. Retired judges have come out of retirement for a period of time. The problem that we're having in Southeast Texas is the fact is these county judges are actually drawing their retirement, they're drawing their Social Security, and the fact is they go to work and they get paid full salary. So that is something that needs to be worked out or whatever. But there is no reason why a man should sit in jail for 2 years before he sees the inside of a courtroom. Foreign countries. I'll give you an example. Russia. This Griner case. I don't know if you're anyway, she's an NBA star, went over, got caught with some drugs, coming back across the Russian border, and they arrested her. She got 10 years in jail. In Russia, everything that I just told you had to go through the trial all happened within a year. Within a year. And it was even pushed back because of the status of the defendant, who was a star in the WNBA, and she tried to use all of her power or whatever that she had to actually delay the cases so the United States could drop in and they trade her off or whatever. But it didn't work. Russians said, hell no, you're going to trial. We put you to trial. That's what we do. We arrest you for something. We're going to go put you to trial. We can't get that in Angelina County. Now, I don't know if these people are innocent or if they're guilty. I don't know. You ask everybody in jail, hell, everybody's innocent. You ask everybody outside the DA's office or whatever, yeah, they're guilty. And the public seems to tend to do that. If they're guilty of something, lock them up. Well, you have an individual in jail that we are paying for with our taxes, by the way, to maintain for 2 years. And at least you could do, no matter what crime he's committed or accused of committing, is exercise his constitutional rights. That's what we're supposed to do. But they're breaking the civil rights of these inmates, and these inmates have nowhere to turn. When you go into jail, you go in, and guess what? You got a lot of friends. You got a lot of people who are supporting you and all these things. After it goes on for 2 years, they don't give a shit about you. They don't even call you. They don't send you a comment. They don't do nothing. They move on with their life. Meanwhile, you're stuck in here because you can't get a trial date. Now, Janet Castle's the district attorney. She's actually put out a motion or filed for a motion that these things in Angelina County going on in the court system cannot be displayed on social media. First Amendment rights give anybody to talk. You want to talk about it. You don't have to agree with it or whatever, as long as you're not hate speech. And then it's covered by the First Amendment. So what would encompass a DA to actually put a motion into the court to the judge to silence everybody on social media and charge them if they violate this order? Remember what I said earlier? What comes in, we don't get information in, and they don't want information to get out. Why is that? One of those things that make you go, And this goes along out throughout the county, and shit rolls downhill. And this is how they do business here. This is how that they have established and got away with this, because it's not that it happens just we just didn't wake up one day with these problems. These problems have manifested 6, 7, 10 years ago. They get away with one thing, they push the envelope to another. They keep pushing the envelope until we as citizens have to give up our rights just for the feeling of security. Now, I know there's people that are going to go put both ways on this and say, you know what, if they're innocent, if they're guilty or they're accused of a crime, they need to belong in jail. Well, guess what? That's not the way it works in America. So with that being said, this is not following our Constitution. You would expect that the elected leaders that we put in power would follow that, but not in Angelina County. If you are a citizen of Angelina County, once you cross the county line, you might as well take the Constitution, leave it outside the lines. The county, like I said, don't work here. And you have no attorneys because it'll defend your rights, especially when it goes against the county. They don't like doing that. Matter of fact, the defense attorneys that are on an indigent list would say right here, they take those cases. The judge will assign these individuals to these cases. So the fact of the matter is that they don't want to do nothing about it because they're making money. As long as you stay in jail, everybody's making money except who? The taxpayer who's paying for their son gun to get 3 squares, 3 hots and a cot. Hot and cot and 3 squares a day. And nobody says anything. Because the way it's portrayed to the American public, oh, he's accused, he's guilty, put him in jail. We don't care about him anymore. It's not the way things works in America. It's not the way it should work here. The next thing, and I'll try to wrap this up here real quick, is the fact is that we have law enforcement they make up the rules as they go. If you piss them off in some way, matter, shape, form, or fashion, like me, they're gonna get you. You're gonna go to jail for something, even if it's made up. Where they just throw a bunch of stuff against the wall, and I'll say, well, whichever one sticks. Recently, we had a prisoner escape from the Angelina County jail. Just walked off. This guy didn't have a high speed. He didn't have no high speed, low drag, freaking plan. What he had was that he just got tired of being in jail and just walked the hell off, and everybody let him. I wonder who he was kin to around here to be able to get away with that. But anyway, he just now got locked up back again. He was found in New Mexico. So this has gone further than a Republican and a Democratic problem. Whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a liberal, whatever you call yourself or whatever party you support, they don't recognize that in Angelina County. Because the fact is that we don't have a Democratic committee that's operating here. We don't have a Republican committee operating here. Why? Because the fact is they're ineffective. Part of it's our fault. Part of it is because we've just been too damn lazy to get up and vote. Part of it's our fault because we're too lazy to ask questions. Part of it's our fault because we don't call them out on bullshit. And we refuse to hold them accountable for the job that they're doing. You're in public office. You have a responsibility to the citizens of your constituents. You have to be forward with them, and you have to stop treating them like third-class citizens. In Angelina County, we have two sets of people. We have the elite, and then we have the have-nots, what I call them. The elite are people who have been here, born and bred here, and they got property here. They name streets after them, all this or whatever, and it just trickles down. The power just keeps moving sideways. We don't get one of us to get elected to office because, but once we get on a ballot somewhere, then guess what? You're attacked not only by your opponent, but you're attacked by the entire county because how dare you disturb our way of screwing you over? How dare you say the truth? How dare you say that? We're going to talk about it in church meetings. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it everywhere else except where it needs to be talked about, and that's right in front of them. I have no love lost for my commissioners. I have no love lost for the county judge. I have no love lost for anybody. Mr. Emberly, who was the county judge, was suspended. His term is done, so he's no longer able to defend himself. But he's got 19 counts of violating the Freedom of Information Act, and they don't have anything on freaking tape. They're doing it on a reason. They're doing it on purpose. They don't want anybody to unite and ask them questions. Simple as that. They expect us to actually believe the bullshit they're putting out. No questions. Do as I say, not as you do as I say. Not as you're told by the Constitution. Do as which is what we do it here. Screw the Constitution. So let it be known for everyone if you live in Angelina County or in abouts. The fact of the matter is, if you are stopped by a police officer in Angelina County, first and foremost, they're looking for something to charge you with. They are looking for some reason that make you exit the vehicle. They have the Marine Corps mentality of the psychological head games they play with you. They raise their voice and whatever, they point a freaking weapon at you. I don't know about you, but you know what? If I ain't armed and I ain't got no damn weapon on me, guess what? It's not against the law, so I can carry my weapon wherever I want to. I don't need you to show up or point a gun at me. Ain't done nothing wrong. Why you want me to get out of the car? Because I said so. Well, that ain't freaking law. I think I smell marijuana. Now they're in a shit. I don't know, well, did you sure it's marijuana or is it CBD? Is it hemp? What are you know? Now they're getting caught in their own bullshit. In Texas, we have right now Joe Biden, like him or not, he has declared that everybody that was arrested on federal that are in federal prison who were arrested on marijuana charges, you're free. You go free. We haven't installed that in Angelina County. You would think that as far as much debt that we've occurred on the county budget, you would think that they might consider medical marijuana just for tax purposes. You have to get a license. You have to go to see a doctor, and you have to have ailments. And people are they smoke marijuana for medical reasons. Some people smoke it for other reasons, but either way, the amount of income that it generates is worth looking at. I'm not saying legalize it all the way around. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I don't care. I never did. I've never done any marijuana or whatever. I got my medical ID card though. My doctor says, you know what, your PTSD, you're getting out of hand. You need to slow down, bro. So I'll go find out what that's about. I'm not a proponent for illegal drug use. I'm not at all. I've seen what it does to other people. Up until this point, the only thing I've ever done is drink a beer. Drank too many of these sometimes. But anyway, who hasn't? So I will continue to make these videos to make people aware of what's going on. I have a Facebook page. It was the Angelina County Watchdog. If anybody has any questions, I'll leave the link below. For any of you who want something investigated, something that wants to be looked into, a case or something of that nature, just let me know. I'm pretty good at research. I'm just not good at going down there and telling what I found in my research. I'm a former Marine, man. It's like, you know what? I only speak one language, and that's Marine, and it offends a lot of people. So I try to shut up as much as possible until the fact is you know what? When you're breaking the laws that I actually went to Afghanistan and fought for, I got a problem with you, man. I got a problem with it. So I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna wrap this up with that. I've noticed some changes. I mean, I've noticed these issues. I'm bringing them up. Anybody, please, anybody, county commissioners, whatever, if you have answers, just give me. You don't even have to. I don't even have to go down there and see you. Just give me some answers that we're asking for, so we can inform other people. That's how we start a community. That's how we get get America back. That's how we follow the law until somebody breaks it and it's encompassing on our rights. Then it's our duty as citizens to say something. Y'all be good. Keep powder dry. My name's Steve. Last name's Dubose. Just because the fact is, you know what, I don't like to go by no other names or whatever. I stand beside what I say. I mean what I say. And if there's repercussions, then hey, I guess there'll be repercussions. But I want people to join the conversation, because if I have this knowledge of what's going on, you who live in the county probably have your own stories. And once we get these stories out, or we start communicating together, then we'll start finding out stuff that they can't post in the Lufkin Daily News or on KLTV or KTRE. They can't post that stuff because the government get pissed off at them. Simple as that. Y'all hit me up. I'm at Angelina County Watchdog. It's on Facebook. I'm starting to get out to other parameters, to other platforms as well. But anyway, thank you guys. It don't matter if you like or subscribe. I know everybody pisses me off. People tell me to do that or whatever. Anyway, you guys be careful. Happy Sunday. God bless you on this Sunday. And I'm looking forward to the Eagles and Cowboys. So let's go ahead and enjoy this evening. Thank you. I'm out.